My name is Mark, and if there's one truth etched into my soul, it's that you can live alongside a stranger and never know it. They tell you love is built on trust, a total surrender of the heart when you find your person. They lie. Trust given blindly isn't loyalty, it's a fool's gamble. I know because I lost everything on that bet. I believed in love, the kind where you're woven together, a shield for each other, where the very thought of looking elsewhere is repulsive because you value what you have above all else. I never imagined I'd be the man sitting here, picking through the wreckage of my marriage, questioning every shared glance, every quiet night, every promise. Looking back, the deception seems so simple, almost elegant in its cruelty. Love makes you blind, or maybe it just makes you turn away from the things you don't want to see. You spot the flicker of a warning sign, and instead of stopping, you convince yourself it's just a trick of the light. You assume that because you're all in, giving everything, they must be too. That assumption is a silent killer. After living through it, I feel like love is just a word people use, a convenient label for something far messier and often empty. Stick around, and you'll understand why that word tastes like ash to me now. I met Lisa when I was 30. She was 25, vibrant and alive. I was ready to build, to settle into the quiet rhythm of a shared life, maybe a family. When I met her, it felt right, like fitting the last piece into a puzzle you didn't know you were working on. We talked for hours. The world outside our conversations faded. We looked like the perfect couple, and for a long time, I believed we were. We dated for a little over a year. I proposed. No red flags waved violently. Just the usual small adjustments of two lives merging. We had common interests, enjoyed each other's silence as much as our talk. It felt natural, fated. Married life settled in nicely. We moved into a place my mother owned, building our routine, our comfortable world. I was genuinely happy. We did almost everything together in those first years. The irony stings now. The deepest cuts come from the hands you trust to heal you. One day, Lisa mentioned her phone was dying. Freezing constantly, battery draining, apps crashing. She was frustrated. I told her I'd take it to a repair shop. The technician quoted a repair cost that was almost half the price of a new phone. It made no sense to fix it. Why not just get her a new one? I liked the idea of surprising her. It felt like something a good husband would do. That small decision, born of affection, was the lever that would pry my life apart. Before transferring her old phone's data to the new one, I decided to do a final check, ensuring photos, contacts, messages, the usual stuff, were all backed up. As I scrolled through the menus, something snagged my attention. A folder, disguised, hidden away from the main screen, not visible in the standard file lists. A cold knot formed in my gut. Curiosity, or maybe a premonition, urged me to open it. When I did, the air left my lungs. My body went rigid. There, nestled within that hidden folder, was a dating app. The world outside the phone screen blurred. Why would my wife have a dating app? I opened it, my fingers trembling slightly. As I scrolled, the truth began to bleed across the screen. She was active, very active. Messages spilled out, not just recent ones, but stretching back, even into the time we were dating. Some were playful, some explicitly flirty, others outright sickeningly explicit. My grip on the phone tightened until my knuckles were white. Line after line, different names, different conversations, but the pattern was sickeningly consistent. She was entertaining other men, laughing at their advances, responding in ways that left no doubt about her intentions. She had been doing this, living this secret life, right beside me. My mind went cold and clear. Proof. I needed undeniable proof. I took screenshots, names, dates, the most damning parts of the exchanges. If she tried to twist this, these messages would scream the truth. With the evidence secured, I locked the old phone and handed it back to the technician. Go ahead with the transfer, I managed to say, my voice flat, detached. While he worked, I stood there, numb. Had she always been like this? Was the woman I loved a performance? One thing was brutally clear. This wasn't something I could bury. I needed answers. By the time I got home, the knot in my stomach had tightened into a fist. I knew how I had to play this. I walked through the door, pulled out the shiny new phone, and handed it to her with a small, forced smile, watching her face. Her eyes lit up. Oh my God, Mark. A new phone? You didn't have to. She threw her arms around me, pressing a kiss to my cheek, genuinely happy. completely oblivious to the precipice we were standing on. I let her have her moment, a few agonizing seconds, before clearing my throat. "Yeah," I said, my voice calm, dangerously calm. "Figured it was better than fixing the old one. By the way, I looked through your old phone before the transfer." Her smile vanished. Her eyes narrowed, a flicker of suspicion replacing the joy. "Excuse me." "I saw it, Lisa. The dating app. I saw the messages. You've been talking to other guys." For a breath, she just stared, her mind racing. Then, the practiced deflection. She scoffed, tossing her hair back. "You went through my phone? Seriously, Mark? That's an invasion of privacy. Don't you trust me?" It was exactly what I expected. Turn the accusation back on me. Make me the problem. I didn't flinch. "That's not the point," I said, my voice firm. "The point is why you have a dating profile and why you're talking to other men." Her expression shifted again, the bravado fading as she saw I wasn't backing down. She mumbled, looking away, "Look, I wasn't trying to do anything serious. I was just, I don't know, bored, I guess. I never actually planned to meet anyone." "Do you understand?" I asked, my voice low, heavy with the weight of betrayal. "How messed up this is? Giving that kind of attention to someone outside our marriage. That's how things break. I don't want us to break." She still wouldn't meet my eyes. I took a shaky breath, laying down the line. "You need to end this. Delete the app. Cut off every guy you've been talking to. I need to know this stops, right now, completely." She nodded slowly, still looking at the floor. "Okay, I'll delete it." She picked up her old phone and, right there, uninstalled the app. I watched, but the cold knot in my gut didn't loosen. Something screamed that this wasn't over. For the next 8 months, we lived a lie. Life continued on the surface. I tried. God, I tried to believe her promise. Every time my mind replayed those messages, those chilling conversations, I forced myself to push them down. Trust, I told myself. Relationships need trust. If I keep questioning, I'll push her away. When her phone buzzed, my stomach would tighten, but I'd grit my teeth and look away. I wouldn't be the paranoid husband, suffocating her with suspicion. I was so busy convincing myself everything was fine, I didn't see she was still living her double life right under my nose. One morning, I woke up feeling wrong. A burning, stinging sensation when I went to the bathroom. Confusion clouded my mind. Chlamydia? Gonorrhea? It made no sense. How could I get an STD? As the day dragged on, the pain intensified, a relentless agony. Then came the yellowish discharge. That was the moment the confusing pieces slammed together with horrifying force. My body was screaming the truth. The next morning, I went straight to the hospital. A UTI? I hoped against hope. Anything but the truth. After the examination, the tests, the doctor sat across from me, his face neutral. "These infections," he said, his voice clinical, "are only transmitted through sexual contact." That was it. For simple words that demolished my world. My wife. She had slept with someone else. There was no other explanation. I walked out of that hospital in a daze. That night, I lay in bed beside Lisa, staring at the ceiling, my mind a maelstrom of pain, anger, and disbelief. She slept soundly. I woke before her the next morning, the cold resolve hardening within me. I made coffee, the ritual feeling alien. A few minutes later, she walked in, kissed my cheek. I had to clench my fists to keep from recoiling, from wiping away the feel of her lips. I watched her pour her coffee, sit down, take a sip. Then I looked her dead in the eye. "Lisa," I said, my voice quiet, lethal. "Have you been with anyone else?" The change in her was immediate, a mask dropping. Her face contorted into an expression of offended fury, as if I'd accused her of treason. She slammed her cup down. "Excuse me? What kind of question is that?" "A simple one," I pressed, holding her gaze. "Have you been with another man?" Anger flashed in her eyes, raw and ugly. "I can't believe this. You're seriously accusing me of cheating? After everything we've been through? Did you cut off the guys from that dating app like you promised?" I didn't blink. That's when she erupted. "Oh my God, you're still on about that? I told you I deleted everything. Do you have any idea how exhausting it is being with someone who doesn't trust you? This is ridiculous, Mark. Absolutely ridiculous." "Then hand me your phone," I said. She recoiled, pulling it closer, her hand tightening around it. "No, that's an invasion of privacy." I nodded slowly, pretending to back down, relaxing my shoulders. "All right then, let's go to the hospital." We'll get tested together. She leaned back in her chair, folding her arms, a smug defiance on her face. I don't have to prove anything to you. That was all the proof I needed. In a sudden, undignified lunge, mirroring the indignity she'd subjected me to, I snatched the phone from her hand before she could react. Before she could scream properly, I pressed it against her face to unlock it. She shrieked, scrambling backward, grabbing at me, but it was too late. The screen lit up. I scrolled, my heart turning to ice in my chest. There it was. All of it. The messages, the explicit photos, the plans to meet, the miss you texts. Conversations with multiple men, stretching back months, confirming my deepest fears. She never stopped. Not after I caught her, not after she promised. She had been living this lie, sleeping in my bed, taking my affection, while sharing herself with strangers. I turned to look at her, the phone still in my hand, displaying her treachery. How? How could you be so unfaithful? My voice was barely a whisper, eerily calm. She didn't apologize. Didn't try to lie. Instead, she just scoffed and gave me the middle finger, a final, cruel gesture of utter disregard. Something inside me snapped. Pack your stuff, I said, my voice rising, hard as stone. Get out. This marriage is over. I want you gone before I get back. She smirked, perhaps thinking I was bluffing, that I'd beg her to stay. I didn't wait. I grabbed my keys, walked out the door, and left her sitting there in the ruins she'd created. I drove a few blocks, pulled over, and called my lawyer. Find me the best divorce lawyer in town, I said, my voice shaking now with suppressed rage. I want this done yesterday. I drove to my parents' house. They were confused, seeing me so early, but I just told them I needed some time. I couldn't articulate the devastation yet. When I finally went back to the house 2 days later, it was empty. She was gone. I didn't have to wonder where she went for long. The truth, as it always does, found me. She moved straight in with one of the men she'd been seeing behind my back, someone she'd been with long before I ever found the app. That knowledge burned hotter than any STD. Divorce isn't just paperwork. People talk about it like signing documents and walking away clean. It's not. It's tearing your life in half. It's disentangling yourself from the person you built a future with. It's waking up and realizing the person you loved, the person you sacrificed for, the person you envisioned growing old with, was never truly yours. The pain is a physical ache, a constant dull throb that flares into agony unexpectedly. It hurt more because I truly loved her, gave her my truth, and received nothing but lies in return. But I learned the hardest way possible. And now, I share this so maybe someone else won't have to. Never love blindly. Love needs trust, yes, but trust must be earned, not given away freely like a gift. I trusted Lisa because I wanted to believe, not because she deserved it. That was my fundamental error. Disrespect is a pattern. If someone shows you they're capable of disrespecting you once, they will do it again. I caught her talking to other men and let her convince me it was harmless boredom. That was the moment I should have walked away. Trust actions, not words. People will tell you whatever you want to hear. Their actions are the only true measure of who they are. Lisa said she deleted the app, said she ended things. Her actions proved she was still sleeping with other men. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. The first flicker of a red flag is often the only warning you get. Don't wait for more. Don't make excuses.